So perfect. So yes, hello everyone, and thank you for joining this session. So today we are going to talk about how you can leverage the skill of all teams to deliver better software faster. So the idea is that when we talk about all teams, we really want to, so that means that we want everyone who interact with the software delivery lifecycle to be able to get empowered and to be able to be more productive. And when we talk about that, so it's really about project manager, business, software developer, of course, but there is also QA, security, DevOps engineer, so absolutely everyone within the developer workflow that we want to empower. Because there is various steps, right, into the software development, and from everything from the initial planning to and design to coding, testing, deploying your application. So this is important that all the personas are using. So basically the feedback loop. And when we talk about feedback loop, it's about everything that we're doing, right? Everyone is doing first, you collect information. So you need those information to be able to assess this information. And based on that, you will be able to make some necessary change in action. And that's why that is important. And right now, what we have, and when we talk about AI, of course, we have a focus on the developer. So of course, developer creating the code and doing that part, which is important. But the development is just a small part of the entire end-to-end development lifecycle. So which means that right now, with the AI, we have a new way to be able to accelerate this feedback loop. And that is important that, of course, that we go probably behind the code creation. Because when we talk about the code, and what developer, if we focus on the developer, so there is some study and there is a lot of numbers about that, for example, here, developer spend less than 40% of their time, so coding code, which means that all the other things that they're doing, of course, there is creating the test. They are doing some form code review. They're providing some expertise, etc. And that is important that if we improve, of course, we are going to improve how developer is going to create code, but it's also important to be able to help much more broader on that. Because yes, developer is not just about code. And we done a specific survey about how developers are interested by using AI into their day-to-day work, and that's quite interesting because, of course, writing code is the first thing that we've seen, but also that we've seen that they would like to use AI to be able to improve the test effort, because yes, testing, so creating unit tests, having the test, so it's quite challenging. You need also to create your test set to be able to do so. So this is something that will be interesting to be able to use AI for that. And the other one is also about the code review. So how AI could help so everyone to be able to do a code review faster. This is important because when you do code review, you're trying to have a peer of two people with, for example, different knowledge, different perspective, different skills, right? And it's important that same thing. So if we are able to accelerate that part of the code review, so from the end to end, so this is really about the global vision that we want to provide. So there will have an improvement on that part. And this is why that from the AI and how you can integrate AI or infuse AI inside your development lifecycle. So we have, at GitLab, an holistic approach from do that, and I'm going to explain this in a couple of minutes. So briefly to introduce myself, my name is Madou Coulibaly. I'm a senior solution architect at GitLab for 1 year and a half now. And yes, briefly to summarize my personal life. So I was professional life, sorry. So 16 years ago, so I was raised and born as a Java developer, many Java developers. So I've done different roles, different jobs, project management, lead architect into a software company. So then I spent my teenage years on the data analytics, the business intelligence. So it's back to the first time that we talk about big data at that time. So really, really interesting. And right now, I'm using all this experience and all my knowledge to make sure that all customers, all developers, so everyone that I interact with will be successful with their implementation of the DevSecOps strategy. So when we talk about, once again, about AI, so with the platform, so GitLab, it's a DevSecOps platform. And we provide this DevSecOps platform, which means that from the idea to the production, you're going to use the single application to handle your development lifecycle. And what we want and what we believe, it's very simple, is that, as I mentioned, AI is for every user, it's for everyone. And this is important that we're starting to enable that. So not only inside, for example, an IDE, but really to go beyond that, because yes, the power and what we can do is really unlimited. And when we talk about our vision and our goal, so once again, yes, improve the DevSecOps throughout the entire software delivery lifecycle. The second point, which is really important, because we think that, of course, we are going to use AI, but probably when we talk about AI, the first, let's say, concern that you have, it's about your data. So what you are going to do with the data that has pushed to a specific model, what we are going to do with the data that go out the specific model. And basically on that part, we have some an approach, which is the privacy first, because your data, your code is your code. And we are going to use the platform to be able also to ensure that will remain safe, your code will remain yours. And even if we're using AI, so basically we are not going to use, for example, your data and the output of what's happening to be able to retrain the data. And we want to make sure that it's something that is going to stay, because yes, for the long-term strategy, it's what we see they're going to have some success. And at the end, of course, we are going to continue to provide a single application, because once again, providing a single application for everyone is really important, because it's where we enable the platform strategy. We reduce the context switching with different tools. So I need to do to push my code into one tool. Then I need to change the tool to go to see what's happening with my pipeline. Then I need to change the tool to be able to see, for example, from my tickets, what the product manager would like to do. So basically, to be able to remove that, we want to keep, so that philosophy. This is our philosophy, but really to be able to apply these three different process. It's where we will be able to be successful and to get, once again, from the end-to-end, an improvement of how we are deploying applications. So on that, so probably you are familiar with this philosophy behind what we're doing. So it's really one workflow to unify, so developer, security, operation, but also, as I mentioned, so DevOps engineer, QA engineer, so absolutely everyone. And this is really important. So you can see that you can, yes, plan, create, integrate, and verify. Of course, you are going to code on that part, to deploy, to operate, to monitor, and to improve. And what we are going to do, we are not going to change that. But the idea is that we are going to enable AI in several different positions. Keeping the same workflow, but AI will be used to helping you to summarize your issue, to go quickly, to be able to having some code suggestion, to be able to have some summary of the merge request change that you have done, to explain vulnerability, to explain code. So really about different model that we would like to apply in different stages. And we want to make sure that the way that we provide also those models, that we provide those capabilities, is going to provide you the best user experience as well. So on that, from all these those capabilities, and especially the AI capabilities that we provide, so today we have around 10 10, 12 capabilities that has provided with different level of maturity. But as you can see, it's very a quick summary that we want to have some capability, especially for developers, but also from the security, for the ops, and also for every other stakeholders of the development lifecycle. So this is really an aspect that is really, really important, and that I want to make sure that it will stay. And once again, so all together, so we will be able to provide better solution, better software faster. So now we are going to do something very cool. So I'm going to start a live demo because I'm quite sure that you are all there to be able to see this in action, because of course we're talking about AI. And I just want to show you that what we have, it's also something that you can really reuse. You can test also right now with your own project. And this is something that is very, very cool. And you will see that, and let's see what question you will have at the end. So here it's my GitLab interface. I'm changing in dark mode because it's cool. And on that part, so I'm going to start to work on my project, which is a Java application, where I need to do some change. I would like to do some change, and I'm going to bring you with me into that journey. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I need some help because, of course, I'm remote. I'm in my room, in my office. So let's say alone. I start. So I don't know why, but no one wants to talk to me or whatever. But basically, I'm going to use every AI capabilities to helping me into different stages. So the first thing that I have is, for example, here the GitLab Duo chat, which is going to give me some help to find some documentation from for example, the GitLab documentation, because the documentation is quite, it could be quite heavy. There is a lot of link, and same thing. The idea is to be able to say that when I need something, I will be able to get those information very quickly. So here there is GitLab Duo, and I can provide and type some action like, for example, so how can I create an issue, for example? And automatically, when I'm doing that, so of course, this prompt will be sent to GitLab Duo. So it's going to compute, it's going to have a look on the documentation and all other different data from the model. And in a couple of seconds, so it's going to provide me, for example, so how I can create an issue, for example, in the context of GitLab. So once again, so the idea is to say that even if I have some even complicated question, is really to be able to help me, to drive me. For example, if I'm new from the technology, I want to learn, there is a new people who is not familiar with GitLab. So it's really to be able to give a first help on what needs to be done. So it gave me the how, so I need to create, I need to go to create, for example, from an issue board, there is the list of action, I can create my issue. So this is something that I'm going to do. So I'm going to go directly into my issue, and from the issue, I'm click here on new issue. And from the new issue, same thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use AI to helping me to write a first draft of the synopsis. Donc here, you see that there is a logo of the Tanuki with AI. So I'm going to generate my issue description. And from the issue description, and especially on what I would like to do right now, is to provide and to create a specification to create an API resources for operation for a specific entity, because I would like to display a feature entity into my application. So I provide some information like, so I would like it to use some markdown headers, and also to be able to provide some emojis. So I submit this information. So very to have a summary about what I would like to do. And same thing, so the data we are going to use, so AI, to provide some information, some data that's going to help me to accelerate, for example, the creation of the specification. The idea and everything that we are going to talk about AI is really that is going to give you, so example, they are going to give you some structure for you to have not to have to type absolutely everything, and especially with Markdown, because you don't know exactly what to do, and it's going to consume your time, but really to help so everyone who has to create some issue that developer need to use to accelerate that. And you see that's what it's providing. So some endpoint model, of course, the method, the request body, and the response. And it's doing that for, yes, creating, reading, so to read, to update, and to delete the specific issue. Same thing, so I have this information, and very easily. So now that I have this, which is generated, I can really change some parts and custom some parts with my needs and so yes, the needs and the requirements that I have. So same thing, using the AI to accelerate those repetitive tasks that's consuming time but not bringing enough value. And this is something that is really important. So let's imagine that I create my issue, and from the issue here, so I have an issue that I've creating. So sorry, especially for the DevOps. And from this issue, let me just scroll down. Where is it? Let me go back here. Will be simple to start from the beginning. So from all the epics that I have, the one with this one, and then I will use this. So I have my issue. So for example, the issue that I create when I would like to redesign, for example, my home page layer. And from this issue, same thing. So I'm starting with this issue, so you don't know exactly, so you can read the description. But from this description, you're going to see that there is a lot of different comments. So there's some discussion because the issue is not clear from the beginning. And I'm going to have this thread of, so this long thread of comments that you can take your time to, of course, take time to be able to read them. Which is something that you used to do, but same thing, we're going to use the AI to be able to accelerate you, to provide, to collect this information and to be able to assess them very quickly. So for that, what we have is that we have these features that are going to helping me to generate a summary of all the comments. So I go there. Same thing is going to turn, and here you see that I'm going to have a summary, so which is just think about a long discussion like you can have in some time, because there is a lot of things that is complicated, and everyone's need to contribute and to provide some ideas. But here it's going to really give me a context about what's happening on the discussion, and just to be able to retrieve the most important information. So I see that I need to change the logo of my application using the logo of GitLab. To have some, Android widget. I change the deadline for this project, so to just before Christmas, which is really good. And I need also to add, for example, a specific field in my feature application. So this is something that, same thing, really important. So to accelerate really this evaluation of the information for you to take really action very quickly. So now that I have this this summary, and I better know how I will be able, so what I need to do, and to give me much more context of what's happening. So now I'm going to my merge request. And from the merge request, so the merge request is really the central piece where the collaboration is happening, because it's from the merge request that I will have absolutely all the information linked to my code change. So from the code change, so I go into my change. So for example, so as developer, you want to do review, or you need to, I don't know, to work on this branch. So basically here I have 14 changes. So to be able to understand what's happened, so the option that we all know is to say that, oh, okay, so I have my 14 change, so I'm going to have a look on absolutely all my files that I have here with all the difference to be able to understand, okay, what if's done with some comments, yes, was some comment, some thread. So this is something that's going to consume your time, right? And to accelerate, for example, the code review, what we have and what we provide so automatically within GitLab is that we are going to use AI in order to generate a summary for each commit that I made. And I'm going to do that in natural language. I will be able to see, because here I have 5 commits. So here I displayed the latest one, the latest summary. But I will have the summary of everything that's happening. And I will be able to see very quickly that, for example, that here, so I changed my UBI, image, my base image in my application. So I create my feature entity. I change my OpenJDK runtime also to update that part. And I also update some dependencies. The idea, once again, is to provide those information very quickly and easily for me to, okay, I better understand what's happening. There is talking about UBI, so he changed probably the Docker file. He has changed the dependencies. So that means that we are talking about the pom.xml. So it's really giving you some context about what's happening into that code change, which is quite cool, which is quite really useful here. So then when I go there, of course, what is taking information is about each time that I'm doing commit. So for example, if I go to my Docker file, so we see that from the Docker file, so I change my runtime and I change, of course, my UBI. From my pump.xml, so I change different variables and the version of my dependencies. So really that's, so anyone who used to see this code, to know the syntax or not, will be able to really understand what's happening behind that. Once again, the thing is really to accelerate this feedback loop for you to be able to take some actions. Now that I know the context, so here, of course, because I'm reviewing the code, so I'm going much more in a deep dive. So here, I'm going to open a file. So I have this file, which is a resources, and from the resources, so same thing, there is a weird method that's doing a ping 10. That's from there, so executing some different runtime aspects. So I'm not really familiar on that part, and I will need some help, for example. So of course you can call a friend, but if it's not available, so it's also good to be able to be autonomous. So on that, for example, what I can do is just very easily, I highlight the piece of code that I would like to get some explanation, and I click on this button. Once again, so we are going to use the AI to be able to provide you information in natural language. So here, so I don't know how familiar you are with the runtime, with the exec, and with this function, how it's working, but it's really helping you to really understand that, okay, this is a command that's executing a ping, so I know a ping, and they're providing those information with the non-zero and so information on that part. So it's really going to give you, yes, those information which is important, and basically something that it's, for me, a bit weird is the fact that he's saying that, oh, he's using a shell model within a Java application, which means that, yes, probably, so let's say, and let's try to assess a bit more about this code or what's happening there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use, once again, so GitLab Duo, in order to ask to GitLab, so are there any vulnerabilities in this code? So here, so GitLab Duo, so understand the context, so understand that I'm right now so on that file, specific file. So it's going to have a look at everywhere to be able to see, so yes, what's happening there and to provide me some insight. So here, as you can see, so he provides some information about the fact that there is some vulnerability into the code, so especially the input is not sanitized. So which means that from the URL, probably it could be an attack, and is really so there is basically a problem on that. So you mentioned that there is a lot of and multiple vulnerabilities, which is okay, good, but same thing. So I have those vulnerabilities. So what can I do? And probably yes, it might be able to help. So can you provide a fix? And I like to say, please, because you never know what's happening and what is going to remember exactly at the end. So be kind with the machine. So yes, so can you provide a fix? And same thing, so it's going to analyze and to have a view on my file, on my methods, so based on my context, because you know that there is a vulnerability. And it's going to helping me also to provide, so basically a fix with a snippet, with an example about how I will be able to fix that. The idea, once again, when we talk about AI, is not that the AI is going to replace us, so not yet, and I hope it will never happen, but is going to just helping us to get this structure, once again, this snippet, that after that I will be able to basically modify it and customize for my needs. So I mean, yes, the please is not working very well, but the idea, and you understand the idea, and you should be able to provide something. I hope in a couple of seconds, but otherwise we can come back to that part, no problem. But here, by using, so yes, same thing, AI, and from the code review, I will be able to get more information, and once again, to be able to accelerate this phase, not about coding, of course, but to be able to do other tasks into my DevSecOps journey. So it's taking time. We can retry, yes, later, so no problem. So this is what we have. Here we have the code, we explain the code, we know how it's working right now. So now I'm going back to my merge request, because everything coming to the merge request. And of course, so now that I understand what is need to done, so now I'm going to do some coding. And for that, of course, it could work also with ID. So here I open my web ID, and from the web ID, so I will be, so it's quite cool because it's already linked to my branch here. And it's going to, first of all, when I open it, it's going to open all the change that I made. So for me to be able to, I have to see very quickly, yes, what's happened, and also to be able to do some code review. But what we are going to do here is that from a specific feature, so for example, here I'm into that feature. So this is the feature that I would like to create to be able to, for example, here add a new feature line, a new features into my database. And what I'm going to do, because it's very simple, so I create the new classes, I providing the name, the description, the status, then I use persist to be able to send him into my database. But doing that, I think it's missing some checks, right? Because we need to, for example, the first thing that I would like to do here is to be able to, of course, before adding something into the database, a new thing into the database, you want to check if the feature, so yes, he already find what I would like to say, if the feature already exists. And when I'm doing that, same thing. So I'm start with the comment, and automatically it's going to provide me a solution, and it's based on basically the different classes that I'm using and the model that I'm using here. So then what I would like to do, of course, is that to, for example, check if name is alphanumeric. So doing that, same thing. So this is a cool thing. So for example, this one, because usually when there is some regex with something that it's complicated, so especially to be able to check the regex, and even when the regex is very complicated. And this is going to accelerate to that part. So basically using AI to be able to helping you to generate regex, it's really a good use case for that. You understand, of course, the context. I'm going to do the same for description, because of course on description I need to be able to provide the same thing, so which is great on that. So same thing. The cool thing with everything that we've seen from this code completion and the code suggestion is that we are going to have more comment into the code itself, which is really, really interesting because it's going to help to get more, to have a better, so the code will be readable, so better readable. And we change a bit the paradigm when we used to have some code where there is no comment and you don't understand what is inside this code. So they will be able to provide those capabilities. So what I'm going to add here is that I would like to add, for example, my version field that I would like to provide there. So here that I would like to add as a query. Oops. And same thing, when I'm typing, so it's going to provide me some suggestion. And here I would like not the project, but the version. And from the version, so it's also going to understand, okay, what is it? So how I can be able to replicate that and to help me to, yes, automatically to provide the information. So when I have the version, so same thing I'm going to continue to play with that, is that, for example, I put a specific rules to say that the version should follow the standard, so semantic rules, so from the version. And then I'm going to continue like that. So here I have a suggestion when you give me, for example, 3 digits to handle my version rules, which is something that I don't want because I want only with major and minor release. And let's see. And here it's also adapting and just changing also my regex. So just by using this natural language, so I will be able really to adapt my code and also to improve my productivity. So especially when there is something that you have to repeat again, and again. So this is the example. So from code suggestion, so I think you have seen a lot of things like this. Which is great. So I'm done my code suggestion. I do my work. I'm pretty happy with that. And what I'm going to do right now, of course, I'm changing everything here. So from here, I'm going to pushing here. So so live coding at DevOps Belgium. And then I commit my code. Which is great. So now I'm going back to my, oops. I'm going back to my, let me look, to my merge request. I will refresh my my merge request. And from the merge request, of course, when I push something, so there is a, there is a pipeline that's going to be triggered. And then, so as you can see, so my pipeline is triggered, it's going to do all the things, it's going to be able to deploy everything. So from my pipeline perspective, if there is any issue, I can also use the AI to be able to helping me, which is also a cool features that we provide and we deploy. So we provide so recently is to be able to say that when I starting my code, of course it was not perfect. I done that on purpose, of course, for the demo. But from the code, so I have some issue into my pipeline. And from my pipeline, so I have a build file from my Java package. So I say, okay, from the Java package, so I have this code that, yes, if you Java, you will be able to maybe understand, yes, some of the part, but not really clearly see what's happening there. And I do this really fast scroll just to be able to disturb you. But the idea is to be able to say, okay, I have a problem into my job. So, okay, is the AI can help me for that? Same thing. Here we provide some capabilities for the AI to be able to analyze the log, to be able to provide me some hint about what's happening there. So we push the button, we wait that the AI think and provide some answer. And directly the AI told me that probably yes, this job failed because there is some missing dependencies. And give me some the dependencies that are missing, and is going to provide me an example of fix, which is also linked to my Java application that I can really reuse on that part, which is quite powerful because also our customer so a lot of customers really asking about, okay, how you can help to debug, because we spend a lot of time to debugging. And this is a way that we provide the AI on the platform. And it's quite nice because you will be able to find and to use AI. So if we check another example, I iterate. So I update my repository. I add my dependencies, and then I have another problem. Same thing on Java, and from this problem, same thing. I'm reuse the same capabilities to be able to helping me to quickly understand what's happening, without me going to Stack Overflow or to push one line of the error code into Google, wait to Google, scroll I don't know how many websites to be able to find the problem. But here same thing. So he said that there is a specific problem, and the specific problem is because I was not using the right version of my Java compiler. And here I'm just showing you that it's linked to what I have with Java, but it's really working with everything else. So for example, here I'm using Argo CD, which is GitHub's tool to deploy my application into a Kubernetes cluster. My pipeline failed. There is some problem from the log. We're saying that, okay, it's not working, so what's happening there? And same thing. By using that technology, by using that features, so it's going to helping me to troubleshoot, let's say, quickly. So let's see what is going to provide as the answer. And here it's cool because yes, he's really understand that yes, he's on the Java application. So what is Java application? Understand that there is a degraded mode, which is really focused on Argo CD. And to fix the issue, so he said that yes, you can rerun the job, for example, and to provide some just example how you can do that. So just think about all the capabilities and how you could reuse this kind of technology, or how you can reuse AI, for example, in your pipeline. So when you creating, for example, your pipeline, which is quite good. I'm going to finish this demo with also some important things. It's also what we talk about, for example, the vulnerabilities. Because today we are going to use AI to be able to helping us to generate more code. But which means more code, which means also more bugs and more vulnerabilities. Because right now, if we want to be also responsible, is that the code coming from is trained on a public repository, for example. And it will be really important that not only when you use AI, and even right now, using AI is good, but that you have a really good DevSecOps strategy, so good automation from your tests, and also to be able to scan your code to find some vulnerabilities, because it's also where there is some risk for your organization and what you're doing. So within GitLab, so we provide and we enable the DevSecOps. So basically to be able to shift left the security to the developer, for the developer to get those information and starting to generate secure code. And the cool thing that we add here is that, okay, I have all my vulnerabilities. So I'm going to provide the one which is the SAST. So basically it's the scanner who scans the code that I produce. So based on the specific language. And from these vulnerabilities, so let's see what I have as a description. So, okay, I have some description. So it's a code injection. Okay, lot of information. There is information about, yes, the CVE, CWE. So here, first of all, I understand that there is a problem. So the tools, GitLab is providing me exactly, so where is the file, so the line of the file that is vulnerable, which is important. And you can see that I can click directly on this file, and it's going back to especially the class that I used just to show you that, yes, there is a problem and that we try to explain. And what is really also cool and something that I really, really like is that we have these explained vulnerabilities. Because from these explained vulnerabilities, so once again, we are going to use AI in order to be able to give more context on the vulnerability to the developers. Because when we talk about security, it's also a new job for developers or a new task that they have to take into account. And on that is really important that not only we give them, oh, there is the report, there is vulnerabilities, but also that we equip them. We equip them with tools to be able to understand what is the vulnerability. Because if anyone so understands the why, basically you will be able to be more aware about that and to take actions. So here I have my code. So specifically on my code, so the code that I have into my repository. So it's going to provide, so something, a summary about what's happening. It's going to provide, for example, an example about how you can attack my code if I don't secure that. So basically here I do, so it's doing rm-rf. I don't explain you what is this command is doing. But basically this command is bad, but it's just an example that you have here and how you will be able to fix it. So by providing that, yes, you need to encode your URL to make sure that everything is okay, and also to be able to make sure that there is no commands that is on this URL. So this is how you will be able to not only understand the concept, you will be able to have some example that you can reuse, for example, into your test case. Of course, on your test case, you are not going to use the rm-rf. I think it will be a bit brutal, of course. And some example that you can, of course, copy-paste. So you go back to your IDE, and you will be able to start fixing that. The idea, once again, so as the developer, we're asking a lot of things. There is a lot of things, but they could be really productive if we provide them the right information with the right tool for them to be more, more proactive and more efficient. So just to finish and to conclude, so what we have seen here and the approach that we take, this holistic approach that we take within the platform is really to empower every user at every steps, which means that we use AI to understand comments and context from Epic and issue faster. It's about be able to explain some code and to have a natural language about what's happening from the code and any code. It's about, of course, writing better code faster and more efficient, to be able to accelerate also the code review, because right now it's a standard to be able to do code review. But now that we know that it's a standard, we apply that. So let's see how we can improve and we can increase that activity. And of course, to automate all the repetitive tasks that we could have, because yes, it's really when we automate everything and we provide basically the right feature at the right place that we will be able to be successful in the future. So in the session, there is 7 minutes, so I'm going to open the Q&A session. So yes, if anyone has a question, I will be happy to answer.
Here you see a lot of good case where it's working. What happens when you see that the AI responds something which is wrong for you?
So basically what we're doing and is really that, so at GitLab, so how we're working, so we're working as an iteration mode. So, for example, every month we release a new we release a new version of GitLab. On the model, we are going to apply this iteration because it's also a value of the company to be able to say that, for example, here, if there is something that is not wrong, so basically how we are going to improve the model is by helping the model to say, yo, it was helpful, it's not helpful, or it's wrong. So basically, it's really the same model that you have, for example, into your mailbox when you have a spam. You have a spam, you click on spam. So basically, it's also using some AI model to be able to find that. The idea is that we monitoring all this model. So from the accuracy, so especially, and for example, we have different phases. So we're starting as experiment, then we move to beta, and for us to be able to say that a feature will be GA, it's because the accuracy about the response that we provide from this data is good. And we iterate a lot because it's just about data that you provide. The data is not good, you tested it, it's not good. Okay, let's improve and let's put more data, let's change the data, etc. And this is something that we're doing internally to be able to make sure that each feature that you have seen is each different model, really different model. And it's where we have also different teams really dedicated to be able to make sure that more we iterate on that. So basically, in 1 month, the model will be better than today, and to be able to try to that until to be able to have GA capabilities that you can really reuse and be happy with. Yes.
How can we get access to this experiment features?
Yes, so on the features, so all the features that you have seen are available. So you can have a trial. So on gitlab.com, you go to gitlab.com, there is a trial. So a 13 days trial. And from this trial, so you enable, so everything is on GitLab Ultimate. So you enable Ultimate, you will have gitlab.com, for example, Madou Ultimate, and basically you will be able to use everything that I show here. You will be able to use it right now. Yes.
With one example, when you typed in to create the issue, to help you create the issue,
Yeah.
because this is an AI, will the result always be different? Or if the model is, let's say in the same state, that will always be consistent?
Is not okay. Yes, to be transparent. So, for example, the model when I create the issue, so the model and the result, so is not I would say determinist. So it's not exactly the same each time. So it's really that when I provide, for example, so I type about this. Let me show you that here. Here, when I create the issue, for example, here, so I have this one, which is API and providing, for example, those capabilities. So if I go and I try to retrieve that and to rechange that, same thing. So I don't changing anything, I just submit to be able to change. So I will probably have something slightly different, probably a different format, because there is a lot of model that it provide, but same thing. So there is an experimental AI, experimental features, and the idea is really to be able to make sure that basically we provide much more information and to be able to change that. So I don't remember, but I think this one were not available. So for example, the status, the different status for each one were not available in the previous version. But the idea is really to be able to say that each time that you push something, so you have the same result and a beautiful result that you are happy with and that you can reuse. Two minutes, another question? No, you put your bag. No. Yes. There is not this. There is not this automation part right now. So I think that it's a good use case. So basically, just about getting the model and putting into application. What we have and what we're doing is that when you do, for example, this is a feature that I haven't talked about, but when you have so different thread. So for example, here I provide some review into my code, and I have all this review, right? There is a capability as well to be able to use the AI to be able to summarize that, to be able to tell that, okay, I need to do everything. So, I mean, yeah, I need to do everything. I need to change here, it's hard coding, etc. But if I have a lot of review, I would like to have a summary, and same thing, to be able to have a summary of what we have here. So very condensed that I can really read and say, okay, I understand what I need to do and let's do it. So it's something also that we provide with the AI capabilities. But I don't demo here, so it's not available on my project here. Last question? Oh, time's up. Okay. But perfect, yes. So thank you everyone to attend, and yes, have a great DevOps. And very quickly, yes, for those who ask some question, if you can come to me.